Hey, this is Kate. If you're enjoying the content on the Good Fight channel, then please do hit like and subscribe below. Thank you. What's good, Andy? How you been?
I'm good. Just getting ready.
Where are you right now? You're in the gym?
Yeah, I'm in my gym right now.
Okay. Till September the 4th is the fight against Luis Ortiz, right? It already feels like we've been seeing you in the gym for a minute, though. Does this feel like a long camp for you? How long is the camp going to have been in total by the time you get to fight night?
It's actually have been a long camp. We've been camped for like 4 months already. And the reason for is because of the long layoff, the long layoff that we've been having. And since my last fight against Arreola, I had to get operated. We've been having little issues like that, like everyone else, going on a little roller coaster, but everything's perfect right now. And we're ready for September 4th.
Do you feel like you're somebody who needs or who benefits from a longer camp to be in the right place anyway?
I do because, the hard work and dedication that we've been doing has been helping me so much, been sparring so much in the ring, and is going to benefit me a lot in September 4th because of the long layoff.
Yeah, so May 2021 was that last fight against Chris Arreola, right? So that means it'll be 16 months out by the time you get to that fight night on September 4th. How much of that was down to the surgery, or were there other factors that contributed to you being out for so long?
Well, just having the surgery of me not getting the victory like how I wanted to. There's a lot of things like that of I wasn't really happy with my performance and me having to get surgery before I was going to fight Arreola, but I took that fight kind of like easily, but it turned out to be like a war. But still, I had to adjust. I had to get back up from me getting hurt and winning the fight. But other than that, I just been with the family, just enjoying life, and until we got so I wanted to get in the ring again, and we picked Luis Ortiz, and that's why I needed a long training camp and to get ready for him. It was a tough fight.
It sure is. Is saying that you weren't happy with the performance necessarily against Chris Arreola, and that's kind of part of why you said you were out for a longer time. Does that mean that it kind of took you a minute to mentally get into the right place to want to be back in the ring?
Yeah, you could say that, especially for me having to get surgery. Sometimes we have our ups, we have our downs. And yeah, I kind of had to wait until it was time and I was mentally focused and ready to get where I want to get. And I want to become a two-time heavyweight champion of the world. And me having to be dedicated, having to be sharp. And this is the reason why we have a long training camp to get to that point.
And like out of a 10, if 10 is the highest, where do you feel in terms of that dedication and sharpness that you want to feel?
I feel like if I just got the opportunity against Anthony Joshua, I feel it's my time. I feel it's my time to shine, and that's why we didn't choose a easy opponent. So I feel I'm ready. I feel like I could beat Ortiz, and this is exactly why we wanted to pick a hard opponent because, like I said, I got to climb back to the ladders, and Luis Ortiz is a closer step to get to those world title shots.
So when you say you choose or you chose a hard opponent in Luis Ortiz, were you offered other opponents that you said no thank you to?
Well, at this point, we could kind of choose who we want to fight and where we want to fight. But I think Luis Ortiz was a perfect opponent, and a lot of people know who he is. The only losses he has is against Deontay Wilder. So the fans wanted to see it. And when I put it on Instagram, everybody wanted to pick Ortiz, and that's who we got.
So for this fight, you're training with Alfredo Osuna, which is now the third coach that you've worked with in 3 fights, right? How do you look at that? Because I think some people from the outside look at that and they're critical of that. What's your perspective on change? Do you think it's less than ideal, or how do you see it?
I feel good because each fighter knows we learn from each and every trainer that we have. So
Mhm.
I learned so much from Manny. I learned so much from Eddie, and I'm learning a lot from Osuna, especially because he is used to fighting a lot of lefty fighters. And when we do mitts, he switches to a lefty. So it kind of benefits me to have him here in my corner and giving me some pointers and him training me, because it feels good. The environment is good. I got a good team behind me, and especially the time that we've been working together for so long. It feels like a whole year, like we've been working together, and it's gonna show on September 4th.
I mean, you mentioned Manny Robles, you mentioned Eddie Reynoso, Freddie Roach as well earlier in your career, right? Is there a particular coach that you feel molded you most or that you learned most from?
I feel I learned from all of them. We try to adapt and try to use each and every trainer that we had, and we try to use all the stuff and pointers that they gave us. And Manny Robles was one of the greatest trainers that I had, and I appreciate him so much, and especially because me and him made history together as well. And
Yeah.
sadly we did have to be apart, and but like I said, I appreciate every single trainer that I've had, and we try to learn from everything that they teach us.
Do you feel any sadness about the way things ended with Manny Robles?
At some points I do. Of course, I miss him all the time. There's, like I said, we always appreciate him because we made history together, and I have pictures of him right here on my gym as well. So trainers come and go, so do spiders. They come and go, and
Mm.
the only thing we got to do is just adapt to who's training us now and just prepare for the next battle that we have.
So I had seen you talking about this fight camp and comparing it kind of to the one before Arreola, and saying that, this time, this isn't just kind of like a weight loss camp. I'm not focusing on losing all the weight. Did you feel like that was too much of a priority ahead of the Arreola fight?
It was, you know why? Because I was listening to too many people telling me, like, oh, like on Instagram or on social media, oh, you're too fat, you need to lose weight, you need to look the part, and blah, blah, blah. So sometimes it gets to your head, and I was like, oh, you know what? I do want to look strong. I do want to look the part. I want to look like Hercules or like Anthony Joshua. But tell you the truth, that's not how God made me. And that's not how God made me in this life. He made me as a chubby fighter, me having to prove people wrong and inspire a lot of kids that just the way that you look doesn't matter. As long as you put that hard work and dedication,
Mm.
anything's possible, and you could make your dreams come true just with hard work.
Saying
So
that,
that
you're looking slim ahead of this fight though, because there was that picture of you, the video. I don't know if it was you that posted on Instagram, somebody else, where you're doing the plank that kind of went like boxing viral because everyone's like, "Dang, Andy's looking in phenomenal shape." So, I mean, what would you be weighing now? Are you willing to share what you weigh now?
I'm gonna weigh is almost exactly of what I weighed on June 1st in 2019 when I fought Anthony
For
Joshua.
the
I'm gonna be in
first,
the yeah,
was
I'm gonna
that
be on
260 something?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in the 260s, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we leaned out a little bit, try to turn into that fat into muscle, or tighten up, a little bit. But the weight hasn't been an issue in this camp. I carry that weight well, and I feel
Mhm.
explosive. I feel strong. So there's no point of having to drop so much weight if I'm feeling good.
Do you think you sacrificed something through dropping weight anyway? Like, I think people looked at the Areola fight and thought maybe you sacrificed some punch resistance because of dropping that weight. Would you agree with that?
I agree because I kind of lost it too fast. I lost weight too fast. I focused more on just losing weight, So I was trying to gain muscle as well, but to having to drop that much weight, and I was almost like 300 pounds, and I went all the way. I almost lost like 50 pounds, and
Dang.
in
How
a
did you
few.
feel?
I felt good at the moment, but once
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I felt good at the moment, but once you're fighting inside with someone that's hungry and wants to accomplish what you accomplished, it's hard, So
Right.
when I didn't feel as good, or when he dropped me, I had to I had to get back up. I had to find a way to win that fight, and I had to switch styles. So I had to adapt and figure a way to win that fight. And that's the hardest you could do. I'm telling everybody, that's the hardest you could do. Having to get knocked out or knocked down and having to get back up to win the fight, or to
Mm.
figure a way to win the fight. is the hardest thing. And but yeah, not this time. This time I feel good. I feel strong, and we're not worried about the weight or how I look.
So this Luis Ortiz fight, it feels like a really big one, especially in terms of putting you back in contention for getting a shot at the title, right? Do you feel under kind of like make or break type of pressure for this fight?
And I feel in every fight there's pressure, especially when you have a lot of audience, you have a lot of fans looking up to you, and they're depending on you. So, especially my
Mm.
family, my loved ones. Of course, there's always pressure, but I've been fighting under pressure my whole life. I've been fighting being the underdog my whole life. So
You don't consider yourself the underdog in this fight, right?
I do, because everybody's thinking that, oh, this is the hardest fight, and because he's a lefty, he hits hard, he's big,
Mm.
and all that. And we
But
wanted
everyone
a tough.
also says he's old. You know, they say that too.
Yeah, but in the heavyweight division, it doesn't matter the age. In the heavyweight division, and the age doesn't really matter. It only takes one punch to change the whole fight, and that's what we're worried about as well. So going into this fight, we got to be cautious, we got to be smart, and we got to pick the shots that we want and break him down.
You mentioned he's a lefty. It's your first pro fight against a southpaw, right? What has training shown you? Do you feel comfortable against southpaws?
I actually, from the sparring that we've been doing, I've been feeling really comfortable. I adapt really good. But of course, we got to see what he brings to the table as well, because he could be changing his style from the way that he usually fights. But we've been having fighters that run around, that try to box around. We've been having sparring partners that we do like slug fists and me dodging and weaving, and but we're prepared for whatever he brings. But the main thing is just breaking them down and doing the same thing that we've been doing inside the ring and sparring.
So does that mean that you're finding it hard to figure out what exactly to expect from Luis Ortiz?
Yeah, because every fight and every situation is different, and
Mm-hmm.
especially from heavyweight division as well. So I feel he could do both ways. He could probably move around, or he could be a banger, just like how I want him to be. But we will see on September 4th.
We talked about age. You're going to be 10 years younger than him on fight night, right? When people fight an older fighter, I think oftentimes they talk about retiring them. Is that something that you have in mind? Is that your intention, to be the guy that retires Luis Ortiz?
That would be nice, but of course, I would want him to come back and fight another day. But I feel this is going to be his biggest payday. I feel this is going to be his time as well to accomplish what I accomplished. He wants to be a heavyweight champion as well.
Right.
And he's hungry. So I don't think he's just looking at the money, or I don't think he's just looking at anything. I think he wants the opportunity, just like how they gave me. And I think he's going to show up and show out. But that's exactly why we're training really hard. That's why we had a long training camp to get ready for this.
So it was 3 years ago this summer, right, that you became the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world. Watching from the outside, the highs look really high. I'm sure that the lows since then have been low as well. How would you describe those last 3 years? How do you look back on them?
You know what? It feels like a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it's still a blessing. I still appreciate of them giving me the opportunity. I appreciate Al Heyman making the fight as well. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been a roller coaster, just like everyone else. We have our ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's been a huge blessing, especially for my family, my loved ones. And the main thing is just to stay hungry. That's the most important thing that we need to do. If you become a champion, I tell all the upcoming champions, or that are going to become champions, is to, if you get the title shot and you win, just to stay hungry and to stay focused and stay dedicated, because this boxing career doesn't last forever. So we just try to take advantage of it and live by the moment.
How hard is it, though, to stay hungry as a rich man?
It was hard at first. So like how I said, I had to go through a lot of different roller coasters.
Uh-huh.
And no, thanks to God that he did bless me by becoming the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world. But it is hard. It is hard coming out of bed with your Versace robe or whatever it is. But like I said, that's why we had a long layoff. It's good to have a good long layoff, just to reminisce, because boxing is it's a tiring sport. it's a hard, lonely sport that you have to be dedicated, and you gotta keep doing it for as long as you want to do it, you know. And since I'm young, I'm 32 years old, I still want to accomplish more things. I still want to make more history. And right now, I feel like I'm focused. I'm hungry. I want to do more than just becoming the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world.
Do you ever feel fearful of that? Of the fact that, like, you know, if you look at, you know, Buster Douglas, that's the fight that he's remembered for. Do you ever become fearful of that kind of being that guy that won that one fight and it not going further than that?
No, because I know what I'm capable of doing. I know that I could win a lot of different fights in a lot of the heavyweight division. I have a lot of confidence in myself, and maybe that's what takes the difference between me and them. And I know what I could accomplish. I know what I could do. I know what I'm able of doing, and that's exactly what a boxer needs. And somebody that has a lot of motivation, somebody that's not scared or anything like that is a dangerous fighter. So that's how I feel right now. And that's exactly
Mhm.
why we're picking a hard guy, because I want to prove to the people, not just to the people, but to myself too, that I'm capable of becoming a two-time heavyweight champion of the world.
Mhm. So you said that you feel like you're in that zone now, right? You're really focused again. During that time where you had lost that, because you said that after the Anthony Joshua rematch, right? You said I wasn't focused on what I needed to be focused on. What do you think you were focused on, and what were you know, your parents? You have a close knit family. It seems like, what were those people saying to you at the time?
I've been training my whole life to get to that point, and boom, when
Mm.
I just got it, it went by so fast. And you know, I was going over here, I was going over there. It was just like a dream come true, you know. And I kind of lost focus of the rematch that I had against Anthony Joshua. I was having too much fun in the moment. I did not focus on what I needed to do and what was coming. So the partying, the going to the clubs, going over here. Everything just happened so fast. And
Mm.
to this day, I still regret it, you know? So that's why I'm like, man, if I become a two-time heavyweight champion of the world, I know exactly what not to do and what to do, because
Right.
it's hard. I'm pretty sure if this would have happened to someone else, I'm sure they would go through the same mistakes. And I wish they don't, you know, but it just happened so fast. And I was just living by the moment.
Do you think that people don't really understand how hard it is to go from that kind of the point in life where you're struggling to have enough to this kind of opposite extreme where all of a sudden everything is in excess? Do people not really, because it felt like very quickly in the public eyes, or not in everybody's, but there are certainly haters out there on social, like you said, right? And you can very quickly go from hero to villain in that situation. I'm sure you felt that on social, because people very quickly will write you off after they've lifted you up, right? Do you
They,
think that there's kind of a lack of compassion out there for just how difficult it is to balance that new set of circumstances?
It is, but I feel they need to be in my position and
Mm.
fighting for a paycheck, fighting to pay for my rent, fighting to pay for my cars. You know, I was struggling really bad. Like I didn't have no money. So this is the only thing that I know how to do is fight and do boxing. I didn't have another job. I didn't have another different career. So everything happened so fast, and it was just crazy. And I know that people that don't have money, that are struggling right now, and boom, they win the lottery ticket of $20 million or whatever it is. I want to see how they would react and how they would. But it's hard, you know. And I had to tell God to forgive me so much, because
Mm.
He blessed me so much and made my dreams come true, because I've been praying and wishing for that moment. And when He gave me that moment, I kind of distanced myself to God, and I feel those are the things that He could do. You know, He could give you everything, and boom, He could take everything away if you
Yeah.
don't do the right things. You know, so
Mhm.
but yeah, my mind is good right now. I'm focused, and like I said, if I become a champion again, I know exactly what I need to do and
Mm.
what not to do.
That's great. Was there anything where you said, God, please forgive me for buying that? I was doing too much with that one. Is there anything you regret spending your money on?
Actually, I've been really good with my money. I've been investing a lot, but the thing that
Okay.
I tell God to forgive me is for the bad things that I've done, the bad choices that I've did, and you know, having the ups and downs, and
Mm.
me me pushing myself away from him. And, there's times when I would pray every single day for that moment. And boom, when he gave me that moment, there's times that I forget to pray. And those are the little mistakes. Those are the big mistakes actually that I've done, through those times when I was a champion. So
we all make them. It's easier to see that you need God when you're in the struggle, right? Than when you're on the top.
This is exactly why I have Jesus Christ right here on my wall as well.
Wow. That's great. That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at the back of the gym?
Yeah.
That's cool. So I know you're not looking past Luis Ortiz because you've mentioned numerous times how hard it is, but I have also heard you say that if you get past Luis Ortiz and get that win, then you do want Deontay Wilder. You kept saying if he comes out of retirement. Did he actually? He never really officially retired, right? Was it that you felt that he should retire, or you just felt like he was flirting with retirement maybe?
No, I think it was because Ali Sebek, I think there was like an interview saying like, oh, I don't really need a fight if like I have enough money and this and that. Mm-hmm. But, those are just at the moments of what we think and all that. But he's been boxing for so many years, and he's still an excellent fighter. He's still a hard-hitting guy and a hard opponent. So God willing, we win this fight on September 4th. I would love to fight Deontay Wilder. But like I said, I got to win first.
And God willing that you come out of this fight with Luis Ortiz injury-free, how quickly do you see yourself being back in the ring? I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, schedule-wise, how do you two line up? Because Deontay hasn't had a fight since the Tyson Fury loss, right? The trilogy fight. So you would imagine he seems like he's back in the gym. He would want to get out there soon-ish. How quickly are you willing to get back out there?
Well, God willing, like you said, I don't have no injuries, and I win this fight good. Probably the end of this year, it would be perfect. Because right now, my
You'd like to fight twice in 2022?
Yes, because I need to stay busy. I need to stay busy. I need to stay active. And that's exactly how I'm going to do better. When I fought Anthony Joshua, I just came out of a fight and boom, I jumped to another fight. I already felt good. I already felt explosive. I felt like if I was still in training camp. So I feel it's really important to stay busy and
do you believe you'll ever get a trilogy fight with Anthony Joshua? Do you believe that will ever happen?
I feel we should have a trilogy. Who doesn't have a trilogy? They should always be a trilogy. I won him, he won me, and there's always should be the third fight. But things happen for a reason. Usyk beat him, and now he has to do the rematch. And what if Joshua wins and boom, he has to do like two different trilogies? Like, what the heck? But of course, I would love to fight Anthony Joshua. But that's all up to him if he wants to. If not, there's so many other different heavyweights out there that are ready to fight.
Mm-hmm. What about the fight that you had announced previously to the Luis Ortiz one, the Tyron Spong one, where that was a Triller fight, and then that got pushed back because you'd already signed to fight Luis Ortiz? Is that still a fight that you're looking at?
I don't know. Tell you the truth, that fight just happened out of nowhere, and it wasn't really a fight date fight because I still have signed with PBC, so I got to see what they want me to do first. And
right. So it's not like you're now contracted and you have to do that fight.
Yeah, but if that does fight happen, it would be good. It'll be a good fight, especially in Mexico. But there's so many different ways that we could do through PBC as well and Triller as well.
Listen, I really appreciate your time. Best of luck September 4th. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be hosting, so I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, I'll see you out there. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, you too. God bless you.
Thank you
for the time. See ya.